Wow, we are in chapter 8. Aren't you excited? We've come from 30 years to today. Today we have come that far. We have come to thinking about where we're going to be 30 years from now to what we got to do today to get there. Think about that. It's a long journey. Hope you got your first weekly process done. Now we're going to go say, okay, so what do I do every day? So go to chapter 8 and you'll see the daily process. It's time to get down to the daily process. This is the key that will drive you every day, create and accomplish so much. Once you accept this and start doing it, and doing it day in and day out, you're going to be amazed. And, I just have to take a moment here and detour that I've been working with Tony Robbins' process for a lot of years. And, like everything, we play with stuff when we first get in there. And I played with it for a couple years. And then one day I re-listened to the whole thing. And now, ever since, every day, I'd be lost if I didn't have a schedule. Now, I'll be honest with you, most times I don't do it on Saturday or Sunday. Or on days when I don't work. Or if I'm on vacation. I don't plan because those days I already know what I'm going to do. Because don't we already have a plan for our days off? Isn't that amazing? We don't plan for our days that we're working. But we sure have a plan for those days off. Especially if we want to get some things done. This is your key. So, daily. Remember what we said? I hope you've been doing that up to this point. If you're not listening to all this in one day, I hope you've been writing your goals once in the morning, once in the night. Not the tasks, just the goals. Have you been doing that? If you haven't, I encourage you, let's start doing it. That's a key piece. You don't have to believe me. You can listen to guy after gal after guy after gal who's been successful. And they all tell you, you got to write them every day, in the morning and at night. I know it's hard, and I know sometimes you think, well, I'm crazy here. But after a bit, you'll see the success. And again, once you've completed one of those goals, take it off the list. It shouldn't be there anymore because you've already done it. And the list should be smaller and smaller as you get closer and closer to the 90 days. Now, I've never been able to completely complete everything that I had set out to do, but maybe some of you are amazing, so you may be able to do it. It only takes 5 minutes to do this process that I'm going to show you once you get rolling with it, and you will be amazed at what it does for you. Once you do it daily, it becomes a habit that you have to do. If I didn't have a daily process, what the heck would I be doing? That was what I would always ask myself. And what I'd be doing is I'd be thinking about, what is it I'm going to do today? And I know I caught many of you out there. What am I going to do today? Let me take a look at my list. And you don't know how many people that I start to work with on the coaching process who tell me that exact story. That's what I do every day. I figure out, get in the morning, I look at my to-do list. Let's see what I'm going to do today. And I'm saying, you are already lost the battle. What we're doing here is, this gets done the night before. You sleep on it. And whether you believe it or not, it's amazing that when you put together what you're going to do tomorrow and then you sleep on it, you're amazed at what happens the next day. All right, so the daily list of what you're going to do today. This piece must be done, as I said, the night before. You go through your weekly list now. And you look at your weekly list and you decide, what am I going to do today? Just like you said, what am I going to do this week? You will figure out what you're going to do today and look at the tab and update the tab for that particular day of the week. Put these things on a daily list. Do not do this in the morning. You got to do it the night before. And before you stop working. A lot of times I like to do it that way, but I don't always get there. The point is, before you go to sleep, you need to know exactly what you're going to do tomorrow, so your mind, and it really works this way, so your mind can work on it. As you sleep, your subconscious mind will think about the things you have to do, and you'll prepare you to make it happen. And it really does work that way, believe it or not. I didn't come up with that, the experts did. So, step one, just take a moment and write down these things. Now, again, just like I told you in the beginning, you need to spend some time every day. First thing, write your goals. Last thing, write your goals. Now, I'm going to encourage you to do these things every day. At the end of the day, before you start putting down what you're going to do tomorrow, take a moment and say, what are 3 things that I'm grateful for today? What are 3 things that made me laugh, that made me happy? And if you don't have 3, it's okay. But stretch. What are 3 things that I accomplished today? And what is the thing that I learned today, if anything? Just take a moment in your notebook. 3 things you learned today, 3 things that made you happy, 3 things you accomplished, and anything you learned. Now, again, you got to do this. Step 2, put the list for tomorrow together. So, let's take a look at our weekly list from above. Go to chapter 8 here. And now what I want you to do, just like you did in the other list, I want you to put together, I want you to go through this list, and I want you to X what you're going to do today or tomorrow, whichever way you look at it, however you put it together. All right, so you can see in my example here, I decided I'm going to execute one of the interviews. I'm going to schedule and hold 2 one-on-ones. I'm going to send out the speaker requests today. I'm going to, of course, write every day. And you can see, I don't have to go through everything on the list, but you can see everything that's checked. And then, again, if you're using the spreadsheet that I gave you, you sort it and you delete the rest, and you put this over to the day, the tab for the day, and there you have a list now of, and you can see in your example, these are the things that I'm going to do today. And how many did we end up with? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 things that you're going to do today, starting with executing 12 interviews. Now, you may sometimes change the wording here, like I would say execute an interview for the weekly podcast, because I'm not going to do 12 of them today, but I'm going to do one of them today. And then, of course, I'm going to be accountable. Go through here. Make sure you don't have too much. Make sure when you look at this, say, oh, that's way too much. I can't get all that done today. Let me get rid of this. I won't be able to get there. Okay, so do that. That's part of your due diligence every day. You may have to reorder them. You may have to reword them. And you can see the example, write every day for an hour. I change that to write for 1 hour, right? Just so it's some clarity there. If I had a major amount of client work today, I might take something else off the list. However, I recommend that you do at least 4 tasks every day you work. Now, one of the things that I'm going to tell you, and I encourage you to look at this, is you don't have to work every day. Think about that. But we'll get back to that. All right, so now the list is put together. Now you know when are you available today. That's the other thing you look at. Okay, on my calendar, how much am I going to work today? I'm a big believer in a book that I read recently, which I'm going to encourage you to read, called The 5-Hour Workday. Different from the 4-Hour Work Week, which is also a great book, by the way. But The 5-Hour Workday is an amazing book written by this guy, Stephen Arstotle, and it talks about really focused work. And I've listened to more and more on this theory, and now that's part of what I'm going to encourage you to do is you don't have to work 8 hours. That's an illusion that has been created by mankind. You don't have to work 8 hours a day, but you do have to work. You know, in corporate America, we waste so much time sitting around, shooting the breeze and this and that. When I'm sitting in my office, like this morning, while I'm doing these videos, I selected 2 hours to do videos today, and that's all I'm doing. And I'm totally focused. I'm doing the video. I made myself a cup of tea at the 1 hour break. I'm going to finish today's videos. That's what I'm doing today. Wow. And again, there may be other things you schedule. So now what you do is you take this and you put it into the spreadsheet calendar, and this is what your day looks like. Now you may say, wow, Manny, that's way too much. You schedule every moment of every day, and you may not work to this detail. You may only schedule your business time at the initial, but I wanted to just show you that it does work this way. For me, at 5 o'clock, I'm up, I'm reading, I'm praying, and I'm relaxing with God's Word. At 6 o'clock, I walk 2 miles. At 6:30, I begin and I write for an hour. At 7:30, I have breakfast, and then 8 o'clock, I travel to the shop, and it's a 90-minute walk. It's 90 steps from my house to my office, so I put that in there anyway, because some days I'm traveling to client sites. And then you see today, I said at this time I'll set up a system, get all the generic data loaded. At 10:30, I have a meeting. Now, look interesting, at 10:30 to 11, I have what's called a catch-up block. And this is where if I'm behind, I have an extra half an hour. I may want to look at some emails. I may want to look at some mail. I may have to make a phone call, whatever. That's a catch-up block. Then you see the next task I'm doing for an hour is to find people for the weekly podcast. Then I'm going to take an hour for lunch. Some of you may not take lunch. From 1 to 2, I'm going to work on trying to get a one-on-one meeting scheduled. Then I'm going to send out 10 speaker requests. Again, another catch-up block in the afternoon. I'm going to work on a team for an hour and a half on the system. And I'm going to travel home, but I don't know why I put that there, because I'm, 30 minutes. I actually have some relaxing time in there. So, it takes me 1 minute to walk 90 steps, and then I can sit down and just relax a little bit and have a drink or whatever. I have dinner at home, or depending on the schedule, and then in the evening, I'm going to find the 3 books I want to read this quarter. In the evening at 7 o'clock, I'm going to make some calls and let some people know that I'm looking for somebody to cut my grass. And then the rest of the evening, I'm going to enjoy and then go to bed. Wow. And tomorrow when I get up, I don't have to think about this is what I want you to understand. Tomorrow, I don't have to think about what I'm going to do. I already have it laid out. So I get up, I execute. Now, this is a full day. I don't always schedule this much. Some days, my morning routine is my morning routine. I have something I want to do, but a lot of days at 2 o'clock, I'm done. I'm finished, and I may not have scheduled out the rest of the day. I may decide I'm just going to go down to the shop and play for a while. Or I'm going to go down the beach. Whatever. But you can do it at the detail that you want. And you see that those couple 30-minute catch-up blocks that I put in there, critical to your day, and it really does work. It always work out this way? No. Okay, now I'm going to throw you a big block here that some days, and especially for those of you working in companies where you have people coming in all the time, or you're working with big teams and stuff, you're going to get interrupted. So instead of having a 30-minute catch-up block, maybe you have an hour and a half catch-up block. Maybe you only schedule certain stuff. But the point is, know what you're going to do today, and you control your schedule. Because one of the biggest things that keeps you from making that $1 million, that 10 million, that success, and getting things done is you let other people control your schedule. And I want to tell you right now is there's only one person that controls your schedule, and that should be you. And that's just the way it happens. Now, once in a while, does one of my grandkids come over, or one of my kids, or some over, and they throw a rock in my schedule? Yeah, but they're allowed. But I control my schedule. Stop letting other people control your schedule. If you allow that, this is never going to work. I've done it. I've worked with clients who have tried to take over my schedule and have really wrecked my weeks. And it's taken me sometimes time to recover. But today, I control my schedule, and I want you to do the same. You're going to be amazed. So, what's your assignment today? Your assignment today is simple. I want you to go out. I want you to start using this. I want you to take the next day, and I want you to lay out your tasks in the matrix and see what happens. It's Coach Manny saying, wow, we have a few things to recap, and you're on your way to fabulous success.